Hello.
Hello.
Philip, I have you everywhere. I have you here too? Philip, can you hear me? No? There is a student that I have in several classes, but he's trying to connect the audio. I don't know, I was willing to take my class, so many of my classes. I guess the one is enough to get bored. Hi guys, you can hear me, right? Wait a bit. Wait just for a minute to see if anybody else is going to join, and then we get started. And if you hear crying and shouting and daddy, 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 please let me know if you cannot hear, because since we are in lockdown, I have two twins, 3.5 year old. So sometimes they show up and they crash the party and they start crying. And the other day I had an issue that I was talking for 5 minutes and nobody told me that they couldn't hear that because the kids were crying. So I had to start over again. So I'll be sorry in advance if that happened, but let me know. Hey, I'm not hearing because your kids are shouting. So I'll stop and I'll move maybe. Last time I had to lock myself in the toilet in the end. That's why I have San Francisco behind me, because so you don't see where I am, because in some cases I have to lock myself in a very weird place. Anyways, I guess that we can get started, and then if someone joins, someone else joining, and then if someone else joins, I just admit them. Anyways, I'm recording this meeting, so then I'll post it on in OLAT. So guys, I'm Armando. Hi, nice to meet you. Some of you I already know. Philip disappeared. Philip, for instance, oh no, it's right there. So I'm sorry, but this course will be mostly in English, because if we have it in German, we probably don't learn anything at all, because I don't know what to say in German still. Sooner or later I will learn, but by the time I learn German, probably you will be out of this university with your diploma and working already. So I hope that it's not a problem that the course is in German, unless you prefer it in Italian or Spanish. That's fine for me too. I suppose that in Italy we say that when someone is silent, it means that it's okay. So since nobody said anything, I suppose that everyone is fine with English. Obviously, the course is not on English, so I'm not going to evaluate your English abilities, because if I had to do that, I would have to evaluate also mine, which are poor. But so the English skills are not part of the course. It's tennis. Tennis online, very fun. Unfortunately, this semester is this way. I don't know if you were informed about that, but probably yes. But the rectorate already decided that there won't be any face-to-face courses until September. So we are surely not having any. Well, maybe we will have some 2 practices in September, as I was told, maybe before the new semester starts. But most of the course will be online. So I figured out a way to try to do it, but hopefully it works. It implies my garden, my kids, and my wife as trainers, and let's see if it works. And I will explain. Today is just about introducing myself, so you know me, you know about the course, you know about the what we are going to do, etc. Nothing more, and then we start from the next week. Anytime you have a question, please stop me and let me know, okay? Because I'm Italian, so I tend to talk a lot. And unless someone stops me, maybe we are here for the next 3 hours and I don't even take the time for breathing in. So we are going to have this course online. Maybe we will have 2 classes in September at the end, but I think that it won't happen. So I figured out a couple of things that we can do together, being connected. It's not as effective as on the court, but that's what we have. Hello. Question: do you guys have rackets or something? No. Okay. All right.
Tennis racket? Only tennis?
No, it can be another type of racket, but usually this course was on tennis in the previous years. I'm here just for in the last 9 months. I don't know if you hear my wife that is shouting at the kids, but they are being mischievous. In the previous years, it was on tennis, and we will continue this tradition of focusing basically on tennis. Also, I was a professional tennis player, not at team level, very close. Team is number 3 in the world. I was number 1,000 something, so we were very, very close. But yeah, I played at a professional level, so I hope that some of that experience I can pass you. Also, I am still an instructor. I taught tennis for kids and for also competitions in Spain and in Italy. So I think that tennis will be a good way to work on this in this course. Anyways, we don't have that much time to focus on many different disciplines in the racket sports. If you have a tennis racket, wonderful. If you don't have it, don't worry, it doesn't matter. I was just curious to know it, because sometimes I will show you things in practice with my racket, and if you have your racket there, you can try, or you can see it yourself, like directly in your hands. If you cannot, you just watch me when I show that. For instance, when we show the grips, how to hold the racket. If you have a racket, you can try it yourself, because there are some tips for learning how to hold the racket in tennis and this stuff. But again, if you don't have it, nothing happens. So I have a calendar. I will show it to you. This is, I will share my screen. Okay. And then I will show you the calendar. Can you see that, guys? Yes. Pretty short, pretty easy. That's everything we have officially. Like this, this is all the classes that we were supposed to have this semester. I reorganized them little. We won't have a Zoom meeting, not a Zoom meeting. That sounds like an animal tour. We won't have a Zoom meeting every week, because unfortunately, since the course is different online, I reorganized it with some tasks that I will give you, and they will substitute the online part. So today is introduction. Then next week we see each other. I'll connect from the garden. I have a garden here. So usually in this past month, basically I was training in the garden all the time. It's quite fine. And I'll show you some of the exercises that we do with tennis for physical preparation. So exercises for strengthening your legs, for foot play, for different types of things that we do in tennis, for both warming up, getting ready physically for competing, or games also for being active related to tennis, to racket sports. And literally, I will take the computer, or probably I will take the phone, I will connect it outside from the garden, so I actually show them to you. I hope that by the next week I will have already I order some Bluetooth headphones, so I can connect them, and I can be talking to you while I'm in the garden, and you can hear me perfectly. Hopefully I will have them, but by that time. If I don't, anyways, from the following time, I'll have the Bluetooth. I ordered them precisely so I could give the course from the garden. And as I said, I'll use my wife and my kids, so I'll show you some exercises. But the kids, I'm not sure, because they don't listen to their dad, but I'll try. Anyways, I don't think it will be something that it will change in the future. They will keep not listening to their dad, so I will try to use them. If not, with my wife. My wife doesn't listen to me either, but she agreed. Then we have, so when you see, I will post this calendar in OLAT, and when you see no Zoom meeting, means that that particular time is spent for a different activity. video analysis. I will explain you what video analysis is. Then we have another meeting the 15th of May when we talk about the forehand, backhand strokes in tennis. So I'll show you how to hold the racket for those strokes, different techniques and games and exercises. Unfortunately, you'll have to imagine them because even if my kids and my wife allow me to show you the exercise with 3 persons, it's not really that great. I taught this course last semester when I moved to Austria, and I think it was pretty fun. Obviously, if you have a practice, you know, you're on the court and you can run and do the things, is completely different. And then again, so we will have basically alternated courses, meetings with me, and parts in which you just have the non-Zoom meeting activity, which I will get into in a minute. And so on until the end of the semester. The end of the semester, there are 2 possibilities, because our secretary told us that there is this, perhaps we can teach 2 courses, we can do 2 practices in September. Surely we will know it by the end of the semester, we will know how it works. If they confirm that we have 2 practices in September, don't ask me when in September exactly, because it's still an hypothesis and I have no idea. When they tell us, yes, you are practicing in September, we'll together figure out what's the best. Unfortunately, I cannot probably make everybody happy on dates and times because you are about 15, 16, 17. It's very complicated to put everything together. I gave my full availability, so any moment is fine for me. But as I said, so far, don't ask me much because I don't know much. They just told me that there is this possibility. If we go into practice, there will be 2 practical classes in September in which we carry out the tournament. I will explain you about the tournament later. If not, then this basically is one of the tasks that I will ask you, is to prepare to build this tournament, and there won't be any practice on that, but you will just substitute those two classes into tournament preparation activities, and then you'll upload the tournament rules and stuff using a Word file. Are you with me so far, guys?
Yes.
Yes? So this is the calendar. I'll upload it in OLAT. And then I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this new document? Or you still see the calendar?
Calendar.
Am I not sharing my screen? Wait, let me do it again. I'll go sharing screen, and then I will choose tennis tasks. Share. Can you see that?
Yes.
See the document in front of me? Students tasks. So there are 4 different things that I will ask you to do. Don't worry, they are not long, they are not huge tasks. And 2 are individual, other 2 are in teams. I'll explain you also how to do it in teams. So first of all, it's the video analysis. Remember in the calendar, there were specific days that I had put in video analysis. So those days, you can use any moment to do the video analysis, but for me, I substitute those hours online with video analysis activity. What's the video analysis activity? I will send you a video on of a tennis match. It's a full tennis match. There's plenty of them, again, of professional players. On YouTube, there are plenty of them. So I will send you each person a video. Yes, Maria, sorry, my kid. Wow. Okay. Yeah. There you go. We are lucky she didn't come crying or shouting, so just have to say thank you. And this is the other. Yes. Babbo viene a aprirti il frigo. Sì. Che c'è? Yeah. Guys, give me a second. Sorry. What's up? Anna, veloce perché sto facendo una cosa. Devi andare a pulire, vai. Dopo mamma ti dà. Mamma ti dà. Sorry. So I will send you a video, a link of a video in YouTube. You open that link, and there will be a full tennis match between professionals. What you have to do is choose one set. I will upload the rules of tennis in case you are not familiar with them. Only one part of the match, one set of the whole match, because the whole match sometimes is 3 hours, so I don't expect you to analyze those 3 hours. And then I will also send you an analysis grid. So it looks like this table below. Can you see the table here? The stroke, backhand, forehand with the axis here. You all see that, right? Guys? So
Yes.
something similar to that. Thank you, Alexandra. Yeah, I need someone who tells me yes every now and then, like strongly. So I'll send you a full grid with this table, and what you have to do is observe that part of the video and start marking. Okay, this was a backhand winner, X. This was a forehand missed, X. This was a etc. And you keep putting these marks on a whole set. And then in the end, when you have finished watching the set and have all these table with your marks, you make basic, very simple create very simple statistics. For instance, percentage of backhands that were winning, percentage of backhand that were mistakes, and so on. Do you follow me so far, guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, we will discuss tennis rules. We will discuss also, I will send you the rules of tennis in case you're not familiar. I will send you everything that you need to know for doing this activity. So over the time of the course, you will know everything you need to know. So if you are not familiar right now, you will be later on, and all the tasks that you need to do for me are due by the end of the semester. So you can start working immediately. You are familiar with that. You can start working later if you're less familiar with tennis and you need to learn more through me and through the documents that I upload. So by the end of the analysis, you have your grid with all the X's in different parts. You create your basic stats, like percentage of strokes that went well, percentage of strokes that were missed, etc. And then highlight which was the best, like the strength of a player and the weakness of a player, based on the statistics that you create. And finally, you establish one game, one exercise that the player could do to improve their weakness based on your analysis. So imagine that here in this document that I will upload in OLAT, you can see the examples too. For example, above in this table, you can see that the weakness of the player is the forehand cross. So forehand stroke, cross. When is it across the court? So some exercise that can help, some game that can help the person improve their forehand cross. How do you create the game? Well, first of all, you'll have the semester with me. So we'll discuss games, exercises, etc. for all the strokes. And second of all, you can look up the web and search whatever sources you find on tennis or physical preparation, etc. And you can use your creativity too. That works very well, usually. So that's one task, and that's probably I would say the heaviest task. So that's why I will upload the videos almost immediately in OLAT. And sorry, in OLAT. I will send you the videos almost immediately, and then you start working on them whenever you feel that you can do it. Second task. This is something that we always have done in practice. Well, always. I've been here only for one semester, but we did it. They told me that they did it this way also. We just slightly modify it. And what we are doing is an online video exam. How does that work? So that worked like when students came to the course, by the end of the semester, we were calling them. We were showing them some stroke with mistakes. Like I was making some mistakes with my strokes. And the students had to observe me and tell me, okay, your mistake is this, this, or this. Simple, right? Since we can't do that in the course because we are not together, we have to do it online, which is an advantage for you. An advantage because when we did it in the class, I showed my mistake only twice per student. In this case, I will send you videos and you can watch them over and over again until you're sure about the mistake that I'm doing. So I will send you 2 videos, 2 strokes that have a mistake. Each one has a mistake. Obviously, how do you know the mistake? Well, we will discuss about how the strokes must be executed during the semester. So hopefully you will know by the Zoom meeting that you have with me how to execute each stroke. I will send you 2 videos. Each video contains a stroke that I perform with a major mistake, so an evident mistake. You watch the video, you tell me what the mistake is, and then you also explain to me how to do the stroke properly based on what we discussed in the class. And finally, one way to hold the racket when you do the stroke. For instance, we will discuss how to hold the racket in forehand strokes, how to hold the racket in backhand strokes. Everything we will see it here through the Zoom meetings. And by the end of the semester, this knowledge you use it to explain to me how to do it, how to do these strokes that I sent you as with a mistake. Is that clear so far, more or less, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. This document, which you will have in OLAT, also there is a note below which explains how this task should be delivered. If you check the upper part, video, note, this task is delivered via text editor document. So you create a Word document, a page document, open office document, and you create your video analysis in there. The video exam is via video. So you actually record yourself explaining the mistake that I had, showing the proper way to make the stroke. If you don't have a racket, you can show it without the racket, but you show in a video how you would perform the stroke properly, and then you explain it also verbally in the video. So you are recording yourself explaining and meanwhile showing also. And then if you can, if you have the racket, you show on your racket how to hold the racket properly. If you don't, you simply explain it verbally in the video. You record this video, you wrap it up, and you send it to me. Is that clear? Alexandra?
Yes.
Thanks. Task 3. These next 2 are team tasks, so you do them together, like in teams that I will create personally. In the classroom, usually in the past also I worked before coming here, I was working in the United States, and before I was working in Mexico, and before I was working in the Czech Republic, and before I was working in Spain, and before I was working in Finland. And in all these places, I know I'm very old. In all these places, usually I have the tendency to ask the students to create their own teams because I prefer teams in which you know each other, you work better, etc. But if I do that, it might take too long because we have an online course. So I'm going to create the teams randomly, and I'm going to put you in contact through a program that is called Remind. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I used it. I'm looking for my phone, but I cannot find it. So. Remind is an app. If you have your computer open, you can put remind.com right now, and they'll send you to that page. But you will need a code that I will send you via OLAT. And with that code, either you can download the app on the phone, or you can use your computer, or you can do both things. And you enter basically a private area of the course with me that is similar to OLAT. The difference is that is instant messaging. You don't share your telephone number, you don't share any information, but you can instant message anyone in the course. From me, if you have quick doubts, you can write me. And it shows up in my phone like a message, like a regular message. And you can contact also your teammates, so you can talk to your teammates and easily. So when I create teams, especially now that it's online, ideally, if you could sign up in this Remind application, that would be great because it makes the life much easier to be in contact with the others. It's not mandatory. So anyways, I recommend it because I used it in the United States and it was wonderful also to talk to me faster. Like you don't need to write me an email, but you write me in this Remind and I get it as a message, even if we don't share the telephone number. So if you have a doubt, quick doubt, you use that with me and it's much easier to communicate. But if you don't want to do it for any reason, I will anyways upload the teams with full names of the students in the sheet, so you can see where you are, who are your teammates, and you can try to communicate with them via the official UIBK email. You know what? I will do it while we are discussing. I will do the remind, so I can actually tell you the code immediately and paste it. I don't know if you're seeing the page that I opened, but I have it also ready with the other group. I will put racket sports in English, so differentiate racket sports. Create a code. Oh, must be at least 3 cards. This is I never had to do it, so I will put RQC. What's the problem? Okay, work QC 2020. Yeah, that worked. Create.
We don't see your page. We see still the Word document.
Oh, don't worry. It's not a problem. You don't have to see it. I'm just creating I opened the page on my computer, so I'm creating it right now, and I'm pasting the code to you in Zoom. So if you want to try immediately to join the course, you can do it immediately. Just let me figure out settings. I just have to remember where I have to go to share the code. Yeah. Add people, not here. Give me only a second and I will do, share link. Yes, copy link, perfect. Now I'll get back to you and I'll try to send you the link via the chat. Okay. I will close this. I will open this. I will stop sharing for a moment. And here I am. And I will send you a message in the chat. And this is the code. So if you go to Remind if you download the app on your phone and you click on that code, or you go from your computer and then you can download the app later. But if from your computer you go to remind.com and then you use that link, you just follow the instructions and you'll get into the class. Okay, so the virtual class there. As I say, it's nothing more than easy communication with me and with your teammates. So you can try now, but meanwhile I will share again my screen and I'll go back to that paper that we had. Okay, so these two following tasks are in teams. The first one is a warm-up. If we had been actually on the course in the practice, I would have asked the teams to do the warm-up actually on the court. So each team would have to do a warm-up before before the class starts. Since we cannot be there, I will ask you to create a warm-up for tennis, a tennis-specific warm-up in Teams. How does it work? Well, I create the teams. I post the teams online in OLAT, so you know who you are working with. Each team has to prepare a specific warm-up. Obviously you will have to work separately, so you will have to create your own part of the warm-up, but then the warm-up must be one. So you put together all the work from each student and you put them together to create a single warm-up of about 25 minutes. So far so good, guys?
Yes.
Thank you. So you are in teams. You have to make a single warm-up for the whole team. So this means mostly that even if you work separately on your part of the warm-up, when you put it together, it must make sense. Make sense means that in terms of intensity, it should be progressive. You don't do something very intense, then very slow, very intense, very slow. Like you have to figure out how to put the exercise together to have a progression in terms of intensity, in terms of difficulty of the exercises, in terms of the type of exercises. Most of the time we do more general exercises in the beginning, more tennis-specific exercises in the end, etc. So you work separately, but then you put everything together to make a single warm-up that is smooth and makes sense. As you can see here, the way to do it is there are two different ways. Like you have to do it in two ways. The first is create a warm-up on a text editor, so a Word page, OpenOffice, etc. If you can see the page again that I have open, this is a template that I created precisely for that. So if you can see that right now, you'll see that this is a simple table. We have warm up. The total duration is 25 minutes. Activity name. You write down the name of the activity in this spot. In this box, the total time for that specific activity. The equipment that you would need for developing it. You can see that, right? You can see the table that I'm showing you. Then how you organize the warm up, if each person does the exercise separately, or you organize it in teams. So the warm up is done in teams, in small groups, and then a simple description of the exercise. So what people must do during this exercise. This is for one exercise. Each student, each of you, will have basically, considering that the groups will be more or less of 4 or 5, you will have approximately 5 minutes per each, because you have to create a 25 minutes warm up. You will be more or less 5 persons per team, so 5 minutes per person, meaning that each of you will do 1 or probably 2 activities more. Commonly, you will have to prepare 1-2 activities maximum, and then you put them all together. How you put them all together? You put them all together by basically copy and pasting on a single document all your small templates. So each of you creates a template with these activities, then you copy paste in a single document. And the other way to do it is the video. So it's not a choice, but you have to do it. You have to do both ways. First, prepare the document, and second, create a video. In each video, like in the video, you create one single video, but obviously each student will prepare their own video for their own exercises. How do you do it? You can do them yourself to show how they work. You can, if you have a garden, you can connect from the garden or from an area outside, and you can show the exercise. If you have family members that are willing to participate, you can use your family member to show the exercise. You can also use videos that you find on the internet that show the activity. So you can use YouTube videos, you can use other videos from other sources if you cannot show them yourself. The point is, most important point is, and then you will have a very thorough description of the instructions when I open the activity. You don't have to do a 25 minutes video. The 25 minutes is the planning of the warm-up. But then in practice, in the video, you only show very quickly how the exercises would work. You don't have to do it for the whole time. Follow me? It would be impossible. Like, you show an exercise, but usually you have people around that are running and they're doing it for real. You will be probably alone or maybe with someone else, so you don't have to show the full time, but just a quick glance of what you would do in practice. Right? Alexandra?
Yes, the video also has to be like one video. Or
yes.
How can we connect the, okay.
Oh, it's very simple. If you have a computer, a Mac or a Windows computer, both have programs that are they are there already. You just take the videos, put them together, and save. You don't have to do any editing of videos. I don't want a director cut or any Lord of the Rings style video. Like as simple as each of you record the video, then one of you who sacrifice him or herself to put them all together in that program and save, and that's all. No editing. If you want to do some editing, I appreciate, but you don't have to. MacBooks or Apple computers have, I think they have iMovie. Windows computers have something, Windows Maker, Video Maker, or something like that. So they all have applications that you can do. You don't have to acquire anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to have knowledge of directing movies in Hollywood or anywhere else. Okay?
Yes.
Then, anyways, when you reach that point, if you have issues, you let me know and we will solve it together. That's not a big deal, anyways. Any other questions so far, guys? Also, I like Stefan that is laughing all the time and saying always positive things. So good. Go ahead. You know that each instructor or preparator or you have to choose your people that you rely on when you're in front of where you're in a conference and you're talking or in front of a class. Apparently, I chose Stefan and Alexandra. You are my two yes men or yes woman. So this is the task of the warm-up, and then the final task is the tournaments, as I mentioned before in the beginning. This will be, it seems to be a huge task, but it's not, because I will actually divide the class in two teams. So you'll be a lot of people. You'll be like each team will be probably, I think that 8 or 9 persons. If I remember well, you are 17 in the course or 18, so you'll be huge groups. Again, I will create the teams. I will let you know who is in which team. I will also write down very, very well instructions, guidelines, and rules later on. So for now, just know that the class will be divided in 2 parts. Each of the 2 teams will have to create a tournament, like a tournament that has something in common with rackets. Like you have to use rackets for that. But you don't have to do a tournament of any type like Davis Cup, Labor Cup, or any existing tournament. Actually, one of the rules is you cannot copy any existing tournament. In the last year, it was pretty fun. I can tell you that there were some teams who create, like they had activities in 3 courts. So on one court, they would play sort of volleyball tennis, which besides is an activity that we will see with me. In another, they were playing hockey tennis. So they were playing hockey with the tennis racket. So really it's up to you and your creativity. As long as it involves the use of rackets, you can do anything you want. That's up to your creativity. I had a very fun activity last year and I participated because there were missing students, in which one of the part of the tournaments consisted in teams with a ball and a racket. They had to hit a Swedish ball. You know the Swedish ball? The huge ball that you use in the gym for bouncing or for support, etc. So there was a Swedish ball per each team, and from a certain point you had to strike strongly the ball to hit the Swedish ball and move it forward. It was like activities of any type are fine, as long as they involve the racket. So don't think about something like only tennis or only table tennis. No, it's very open to your creativity. These tournaments can happen in 2 ways, or there is one thing that you for sure will have to do. Create a document with the rules, with the schedule. Imagine that you are a tournament organizer. You have to organize everything. You have to organize how the teams will face each other, the match days, how they work, the rules and norms to follow, the prize, what's the price is, who's winning, how to score points. This part, you will surely have to do it and create a document on a text editor, Word, again, a page document or open office document, etc. This for sure. Then, if possible, and in September we really have the 2 practices, we also play it. So try to make it in a way that actually can be played, because if possible, in those 2 practices that we have in September, 1 day per each, we will play the tournaments that you guys organized. Stefan, Alexandra?
Okay.
I have the audio yes, I have the video yes with the thumbs up, so everything is cool. Stop sharing. We'll put it. So this is pretty much everything about the course. I know, yes, I have another group and they told me it's so many things and they are giving us a lot of tasks. Everybody, I know guys, online is terrible because you have everybody, including us, we have the thing that we have triple the things to do, because if we were on a court, it was easier for everybody. But believe me, it's not that much time. And that's why also I chose not to see you every week, but you also give you that time for working on certain tasks. But all in all, it's not that much. Warm up 5 minutes. The tournament, you'll be a lot of persons. The video is probably the heaviest, but you will have time also instead of classes to develop it. And the exam is just observing 2 videos and analyzing them. It will be observing 2 strokes and analyzing them, and probably that will be by the end of the semester, because before you need all the information. So it won't be that much, but I think it would be effective for you to get something from this without going actually on the court. Questions?
So we have time till July, or when do we have to finish all the exams?
The last day of the course is the 26th of June, if I'm not mistaken. And all the tasks must be delivered by that time. Obviously the exam, but when I upload the task in OLAT, you'll have a folder with the task uploaded where you can upload your own task when you finish it. And in that part, you will find full instructions, including deadline, documents that you need, and all the guidelines that you need to follow to carry out the task. And then obviously, if you have doubts still after reading that, you write me an email, or if you sign up in Remind, you write me a message. Don't worry about messaging in instant messaging, because if you write me, if you are working on tennis on this course at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, desperate because you really love this course and you want to work until early morning, and at 3 a.m. you say, oh no, I have a doubt, I have to ask Armando. You write me anyways, I have the sound off, so I will reply the day after. In the night. Jokes out, in the United States, they really wrote me in the night, sometimes at 2, 3 a.m. And then it was complicated to explain my wife that it was a student asking for information. Says my wife just heard me and said, please stop it. You make me seem like I am very bad. No, she's very nice. She's the best. All right, so this is everything for now, unless you have other questions. In OLAT is already active. You have the code in Remind. I have recorded this meeting, so I will upload it. The way you will see it uploaded on the OLAT is not as a video, but as a text file, because the video is just too heavy for uploading it. So you'll see a text file with Zoom meeting 24 of April. You click on the text file, it opens up, and there is a link to YouTube. And in that YouTube, you will have the Zoom meeting in case you like this meeting so much and you want to watch it over and over again. Jokes out, this will be, for today probably not, but for other parts of the course in which I will explain the grips, etc., I will do all this again. So if you, oh, wait a minute, what did they say about the grips? You can take the video and watch it over again. For today, probably it's not really useful. But if you know some of the students that are in this course and were not connected today, let them know that the video is there in case, if you are in contact with some of them. Anyways, everything will be there in OLAT, including the documents that I show you. Questions?
Do we have to do the video analysis every second week or just once?
Oh, no. Wait. Meanwhile, I'm going to the universe. No. Here there is no COVID. Look, no virus. So no, I just put, like, it's a official way to put it. Like, the task of the video analysis requires a certain time, a certain effort and time that you spend on it. So I put just video analysis instead of the course. You can do whatever. You can even have a coffee or do whatever other thing and do the video analysis in other moment. What I meant in the calendar is that specific time allocated for the course, you don't meet me because I expect you to work on the video analysis. You don't want to, and you want to use a different time, go ahead, as long as you deliver it by the end of the semester. You can also... Yeah,
that's clear, but do we have to do more analysis or just one?
Oh, sorry, no, just one. Sorry.
Okay, good.
Sorry, please keep in mind that I'm Italian, so my English is very low, like by default.
Okay, so just one.
Yeah, just one video. Like I think it will take you not long time, especially if you know about tennis, but or if you're analyzing a set can be 50 minutes, an hour of tennis. So it's a good time that you spend. I don't want you to spend 20 hours watching tennis unless you like it. Now you tell me, hey, Armando, I did it on the World match because I really loved it. Go ahead. It will only be good for me. Whenever you think to do more, don't even ask me, do more. If you think about doing less, don't even ask it, don't do it. Any other questions so far? Remember that anyways, all like little by little as we go, on with the course, you'll see more guidelines, more instructions, and you also get to know more things from me in the Zoom meeting. So everything will make more sense later. Now is more a general overview of what we're going to do. Okay, if you don't have any more questions, for today is over. And next week, I'll meet you in the garden to show you some activities for physical activity, physical preparation for tennis. If you have a space, a garden, or a space in which you want to try, go ahead and join me, sports outfit. I'll show you the exercise and you can try yourself from home. If you just feel too lazy, grab your coffee and your popcorns and watch my wife, my kids, and me doing the exercises. All right, so if you don't have any doubts during the week, I will upload all this stuff. But if you have any question during this week, you think about it, oh, Armando said that, and I have to ask him really that thing. You write me a remind or write me an email, and I'll reply to you. Okay? All right. Have a nice weekend then. Going to Mars right now.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.